Hey barrelheads, if you're chasing Colonel E.H. Taylor bottles, you probably asked yourself, is the barrel proof worth the hype or is a small batch enough?
And then there's the rye. People either love it or they ignore it completely. Today, we're putting all three side by side to find out which one's really worth keeping.
Let's go! All right guys, so before we get started, we want to give a huge thank you to every single person who has been watching and supporting this channel. We've recently hit 1,000 subscribers, and honestly, we're blown away. So whether you are new here or have been with us from the very beginning, we appreciate every single one of you.
And speaking of the beginning, this is kind of a full circle moment for us. Our very first video ever was about whether or not E.H. Taylor was actually a colonel.
It was a solid first into the barrel hunter's journey. So today we're going back to where it all started. This time we're tasting 3 different E.H. Taylor expressions and we're figuring out which one deserves a spot on your shelf. And what better way to do this than to reintroduce one of my favorite segments that we've come up with here, which is dunk, sip and dip, or keep.
What a catchy name.
Right? It's a mouthful, but it gets the point across.
E.H. Taylor is one of Buffalo Trace's more sought after products. They're typically allocated, meaning they're harder to find, and many people end up paying secondary prices for these, which we don't usually recommend.
No, don't do it. No.
Avoid it if you can. However, we have noticed more frequent drops of these bottles recently, so perhaps the tide is shifting a little.
I hope so, because I am getting tired of riding this allocation station. The allocation station is closed for refurbishments. We're tired of riding that thing. Okay, now it's time to go to retail land.
There you go.
MSRP Cadia.
You come to my door with an MSRP sign, I'm gonna answer that door.
Now, assuming that you can find these suckers at retail price, small batch is typically the entry point, which is right around $65. Secondary prices though, it's a different story. They're usually 2 or 3 times that, which frankly pisses me off. I don't like it. Buffalo Trace, don't make me tell you to suck it. Don't make me tell you. We've been down that road before. I don't want to go down that road again, okay? You don't want to see Angry Eddie coming out. To charge that amount of money for a blended whiskey, you could suck it, Johnny Walker. That's what I say to you. Suck on that. Yeah, I said it.
Hey.
Yeah, I said it.
Then you got the Straight Rye, which goes for about $75. And again, that one also goes for 2 to 3 times that, sometimes even more on the secondary market.
Oh.
So, it's okay, buddy. It's okay.
It's me angry.
But that one's got a high rye mash bill. It's got a really, really bold profile, and it doesn't joke around.
And finally, we got the barrel proof, which comes in hot. Literally, it's uncut, unfiltered, and each release has a different proof. Ours is 131.1 proof, which indicates that this is a batch 12 released in 2024. And this one typically goes for $90 MSRP.
Mm-hmm. Those 4 key letters right there.
That's my safe word.
Nobody needs to know that. Let's let this tasting begin.
Yes, look at this. Look how empty this is.
This is sad.
This is a very sad state of affairs.
One of the saddest things I've ever seen.
Yes.
So we need to change this ASAP.
We are.
We're gonna go in order here from lowest proof to highest proof. 2 of these actually, the small batch and the rye, are bottled in bond and come in at exactly 100 proof, which is appropriate, seeing that they are named after the guy who helped push the Bottled in Bond Act way back in 1897. All right.
Ooh. You heard that?
That sounded like one of those sound effects that you hear in like, ooh.
Oh, I thought you meant the bottle opening.
I did. I didn't. I meant you.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Let me just pour.
Yeah.
God.
All right, so now we're starting off with a small batch. We're starting off on the more affordable option here.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, man, these Buffalo Trace products, as hard as they are to get, they don't disappoint. I mean, this right away, like if you were doing a blind tasting, this is that, as you would like to say, the quintessential bourbon. You get that caramel, the vanilla, the oak, like all those standard flavors are all present.
Exactly. I was about to say the same thing. Not just because I want to copy what you're saying, but I completely agree. You get caramel, you get vanilla, you get oak. That's the first 3 things that just immediately hit you. Even though it's low on the rye scale in terms of the mash bill, you can still get some of that rye spice here.
Yeah.
So you get a little bit of baking spices, some cinnamon towards the end there, at least on the nose.
Yeah. So this one, even though it's a low rye profile, I still get that rye on the back of the tongue. I get a little bit of heat. I mean, it is coming in at 100 proof. I do get some like toffee and baking spices on there too.
Yeah. You know, on the finish is when I'm getting more of that toffee notes. A little bit of saltiness even, like some peanut sort of flavors. But right up front, I'm getting caramel and vanilla. Some cinnamon notes in there as well. I will say, I'm gonna be honest, I love E.H. Taylor. I don't understand why it's so allocated. I think it's a great bottle. I don't think it's the best whiskey in the entire world where people have to do crazy things to get their hands on these bottles. You should have seen what I had to do to get my hand on one of these bottles.
You don't want to know. This to me is sort of like your standard bourbon, right? I don't really think you need to pay more than MSRP for this bottle.
Right.
It's a good bottle, don't get me wrong, but not one that's so good that you need to pay exorbitant prices for it.
Nowadays, you have a lot of distilleries, especially those craft distilleries, that are making some really unique things. Again, not to poo-poo Colonel E.H. Taylor, it's fantastic. But there's a lot of other stuff out there that is just as good and is a lot easier to get. All right, next. What are we doing next?
The rye.
All right. I know what you're thinking. Those Barrel Hunters t-shirts are sexy as hell.
You asked, and we delivered. Barrel Hunters now has an exclusive merch shop on YouTube, which we have linked in the description below.
Whether you want to proudly declare your spot in the Barrelhead Nation, enjoy whiskey takes on movie quotes, or have clever sayings on your chest, we've got something for everyone.
This is the best way to support our channel, as it allows us to continue bringing whiskey videos such as this one to you. Now, back to the show.
All right, Ryan, I'm excited about this one because this is the rye. I'm really curious to see what we get because this is probably gonna be the most different one from the three that we're gonna try.
I think so. And this is one you don't see as often.
Right.
You know, the small batch drops quite frequently. Barrel proof, you see a little bit more. The rye, though, that's only recent that it started coming out here.
It sure is.
Yeah.
And we got our sexy hands on this even sexier bottle. Well, Ryan, it starts on the nose.
I'm getting hands.
Oh.
Did you put your hands in this?
I don't know what kind of fever dream you're having.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. You know what? I got more rye in the small batch on the nose than I did in the rye.
It is a lot sweeter than you would expect.
Yeah.
At least on the nose, right? But I am getting some of those baking spices and mint notes. So it does feel like a rye to me, but it does feel like a lot lighter on the nose than the small batch did.
Question for you. Are you getting a little bit of dill in here?
You know what I was getting? I felt like if I had to name it out, I would say juniper.
Okay.
But dill is a good one too. What do you guys think? Look how much our nose, our palate has just completely evolved since we started this channel.
Yeah.
Isn't that incredible?
It is.
Then we're calling things out like dill.
Yeah, I got a whole grocery store in here.
Oh, you know what I also got? A little bit of brown sugar right now.
You got some brown sugar?
I got some brown sugar right now.
We're freaking wacky today.
Oh,
that's a great rye.
that is a delicious rye.
Wow.
You know, I've really learned to appreciate rye more.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't a big rye fan, but there's some ryes out there that are fantastic.
Yes.
This rye, to me, is up there with one of the best.
This is fantastic.
It's so sweet for a rye. Normally the ryes pack some heat. This one goes down like a warm blanket on a winter's eve.
Here we go.
Where you just want to cuddle up. You know those nights when it's nice and cold outside and you want to go watch a movie? And you put a movie on and with your loved one and you just grab a blanket, and it's usually like a really soft blanket, that really soft one. And then you wrap your blanket together with your loved one and you're laying on the couch, it's late at night, and you put on a movie and you're just in heaven. Like you don't even care how good the movie is, but your loved one is enjoying it and you're enjoying the company, you're enjoying the blanket, and that's what this feels like right now. I'm just gonna take a little, That's what that feels like to me.
I need to know, what movie were you watching while you were wrapped up in that blanket?
I wasn't paying attention to the movie.
Oh.
I was paying attention to being cuddled in the blanket, sipping some of this E.H. Taylor rye.
Yeah, he's watching Clockwork Orange.
It could be Clockwork Orange or Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh, wow.
Or both.
Holy crap.
It could be both.
Stanley Kubrick, Meg Ryan.
You know, I've talked about this a lot. What I love about drinking whiskey is that it transports me to this place where it's like you take a little sip and then all of a sudden you're enjoying your life again. It's like, oh, this is wonderful.
Yes.
And why is this wonderful? Because it takes me to that moment in time where I was covered in a blanket that was weighted. It was maybe a little bit warmer than I expected, but I needed it to be warm, and I loved it, and I enjoyed it. And here I am, Colonel E.H. Taylor. Thank you for those memories.
I need to drink more.
I'm sorry, this went completely off the rails, but it's what I'm feeling right now.
No, allocation station derailed.
Yes.
Now, I am excited to try the barrel proof.
Let's do it. I don't know what mating ritual that was, but if I see a dog or a cat just show up at our front door, now I know exactly why that happened.
That was the native cockatoo.
Is that what that was?
Yes.
Here it comes.
Holy hell, dude.
It looks bigger than it is.
Okay, story of my life. So little fun fact about our 2024 release here. It's 131.1 proof, which is the second highest of the barrel proofs since the very first batch release.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so we're here for a zinger. We're gonna get rocked with this one. I can't wait.
If you thought story time was funny before, just wait till we have the barrel proof. Holy.
You get You get that heat.
Holy, this is gonna hurt.
So you know what I find interesting is that so we had the rye in between the small batch and this one, right? Mm-hmm. The small batch and this one to me are very similar and on the nose, except this one feels like it's just cranked up to 11.
Yes. On top of the heat, I'm getting like this cherry pie sort of flavor to
Cherry
it.
pie.
Yeah.
Oh, do tell.
Like a hot steaming cherry pie.
Your face is in
It's just,
the oven.
Yeah. Instead of using a thermometer, you just stick your nose right in the freaking cherry pie.
I feel like it's gonna be story time with Ryan right now.
It is.
Go for it.
Hear me out here.
I'm ready.
Okay. So grandma's just got done baking a cherry pie. Takes it out of the oven,
Oh.
puts it on the windowsill,
Oh my gosh.
and she starts fanning the cherry pie flame out to you.
Oh.
Like, smell this.
Oh.
Smell this. And you get that first whiff and it like draws you in. And then you get there and you get the cherry pie. And then you get all the spices that go along with it. The brown sugar, the cinnamon, all that. But it's cranked up.
Oh.
Cranked
Good
up.
old Grandma. Thank you, Grandma.
Thank you,
for
Grandma.
that cherry pie.
Yeah.
Oh, Grandma's pie.
What are you getting, man?
Oh man. Well, after that, I don't even know what I'm getting, but I'm getting. All right, so I'm getting a lot of the same notes as before. So I'm getting caramel, oak, a lot more oak than the first one.
Yes.
I get more vanilla than I do caramel.
Okay.
I get oak right in between. So I get vanilla, oak, caramel.
Look at that.
That's what I'm getting here. Get some brown sugar sprinkled on top, and good old Grandma's pie. Oh my god!
How'd that feel, buddy? Of all the ones to choke on, this is not the one you want to choke
that's terrible. Oh my god, my nose.
Oh, boy.
Ah, everything burns. Oh, that was painful. Oh, we gotta do that again. I can't laugh this time. That's what did me in.
on.
Bro, this burns.
Okay. That one feels every bit of the 131 proof.
Yes.
We've had similar proofed whiskeys recently that have not tasted as hot as this one does.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
We've had the Larceny barrel proof. We've had the Coy Hill,
Yep.
which was phenomenal.
Yes.
And even though this is a slightly higher proof, it feels like it's like a double whammy punch to the
It
face.
sure does.
Yeah. You know how I took us to the warm blanket before and
Yeah.
the movies and all that stuff and
Yep.
on Winter's Eve? This to me feels like Mike Tyson punched me in the face, and as I was trying to recuperate, he punched me in the nuts.
Oh.
And I almost died.
All right, I feel like if you had a weighted blanket on for this one, you would be on fire and you would need to jump into a pile of snow immediately.
Yes, that's a very, very good description. I mean, it's not bad, but it is, you feel every single proof of this whole thing.
Yeah. This packs a punch.
It packs a punch.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
We want more.
No, yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, so the second go around was a little bit better.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a little bit better. I think everything just died inside, so I'm good.
All right, man. He's loaded.
All right, I'm ready.
It's decision time.
Yes, it is, Ryan.
Which one are you going to keep? Which one are you going to dump? Which one are you gonna sip and dip?
I feel like this one's easier than I expected it to be. Okay?
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
And this is gonna be controversial.
Oh.
There's some people out there that are gonna be shocked at what I'm about to say.
I'm already shocked.
Oh, well, that was easy. This is what I'm thinking. Dump, barrel proof.
Ooh.
And I'm sorry, because that is the most expensive one. That is probably the hardest to get. But that was as high of a proof as I could probably tolerate. If I even tolerated it. I don't even think I tolerated it, to be honest. So for my taste, what I love about barrel proof is when you can get a lot more flavors of that cinnamon and that vanilla and the oak and the caramel notes that you typically get from a bourbon. When you get that magnified, I love that. You know, but when you just feel heat just for the sake of heat, that's when I'm like, I back out. And that's what I felt like, me personally, with this barrel proof. So I am going to dump this sucker. Save your money.
Okay.
Because it hit me hard.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now to sip and dip.
Okay.
That one's easy for me.
All right.
I'm going to sip and dip this beautiful little small batch right here.
Nice.
It was a delicious pour. I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
It was, as you mentioned, a quintessential bourbon. Flavor and notes and nose, everything was great. However, there's other bottles out there that are just as good in my opinion. So I would sip it, enjoy it, and then leave it.
Now that you have that visual, what are you keeping?
I will keep, gladly, the E.H. Taylor Rye.
Wow.
I loved this rye. This is one of my favorite ryes I've ever had.
Okay.
This, to me, gave me all the flavors that you would expect from a rye. It was floral, but it was coated in this like flavor of caramel and vanilla, and it was incredible. That is my keeper, 100%. All right, Ryan, what were you saying? What are you thinking?
Okay, so last time we did this segment, we disagreed on all of them. It was with the 4 roses, by the way, which we'll post up here so you guys can watch that one too. So for my dump, I am actually gonna dump the small batch.
Oh.
The small batch I thought was good, but you can find that bourbon anywhere. I'm not gonna go seeking the small batch, especially at secondary prices when it's so hard to find. So I'm gonna dump this one. I'm gonna dump the small batch. I'm gonna sip and dip the barrel proof. I actually really enjoyed the barrel proof. I enjoyed like the cherry pie that I got in there, as you heard from my beautiful story before. And if I had to just try it one more time and then set it aside, I'm okay with that. And here's where we agree. I am definitely gonna keep the E.H. Taylor Rye. That rye was one of the best rye whiskeys I've ever had. The balance was there. It was perfect. You got those rye notes in there. There was some additional, like we were picking up some mint, some dill, and a couple other interesting notes in there that I haven't gotten from rye before. So what did you guys think? Which one would you keep? Which one would you dump? And which one would you sip and dip? And if you tried all 3, which one surprised you the most?
Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell to be notified of our latest videos. And tell your friends about us. 1,000 subscribers is only the beginning. We want to build a community of whiskey lovers, and we need your help.
Yes. Thank you again for helping us hit 1,000. Let's keep it going. Until next time, cheers.